Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Friday morning. I'm out here looking at my giant sequoias, giving them a nice dose of Miracle-Gro. I've learned a lot from having these trees now for about 2 years. I've learned that they love Miracle-Gro like all my trees and love to be watered. So these trees were all started from seeds that I bought. And this one was definitely the biggest tree right from the beginning. They've all kind of kept their size. This one was the runt on the end here. And it's got really interesting base on it. And I've made one pinging from cuttings off of these trees, and today I want to make another one and try to do some root over rock stuff with it. I've got these two cuttings that I've got some age on them now, so I'm going to use those two to make a new pinging. So these trees have been in this box for about a month now, and they've been really happy. You can tell they're happy by their tips up here. They have a beautiful yellow tip on them. So I have the pinging that I made from cuttings of these trees in the other greenhouse set up on a turntable. So we'll do a little work on that one first. So I'll see you when I get there. All right, this planting has grown really nice this summer. We did have a really dry summer, and I've learned that these trees like to be wet all the time. So they do require daily watering to own them. This tree on the end I had to replace. It was the only one that dried out and died in there. But they've all grown really well this summer. I've been really impressed with how they've gone from cuttings. They were all made from limb cuttings about the size of that one. And they can go from a little green limb to a nice trunk. Very impressive. So this tree on the end over here is probably the nicest tree. It's got a little new barry going. The new one I'm going to make today, I'm going to really try to expose some roots on it and do some root over rock. So the moss in this one has done just about as good as any of mine. The moss is beautiful in this one. And it loves to grow on granite boulders around here, so it loves to grow out on the concrete. That makes a really nice look in them. And you can see that they're just thinking about pushing themselves up out of the pot. And by next summer, I'll probably have to take them all out and do some root pruning on them. But I've learned from the other ones that it doesn't bother them at all to trim the roots on them. So the main thing I want to do on this one today is to trim up some lower branches. So I'll get you on the tripod and we'll do some of that pruning. Okay, starting on the end here with this tree. It is their nature to make a lot of lower branches, so I want to get everything pruned off that's hanging down, making it so that I can't see into this planting. I want to keep a little bit of this branch, but not the stuff hanging down. Shorten that one. So that's got that tree cleaned up some. And this one's got a wild branch in here. Get rid of that. They do tend to have quite a few dead branches on them. And this one's really hanging down. So here's a dead branch. Seems to be the nature of this tree that it lets a lot of its lower branches go. It wants to keep its tops beautiful. It does a good job of that. So that's the biggest part of the maintenance on these has been cutting all the dead stuff out of them and keeping them cleaned up. Get rid of that one. This is the tree that I had to replace, and it's not the greatest looking tree. It's trying though. One more. They do develop beautiful trunks. This one's got a really nice shape. So there we go, it's pretty cleaned up now. So I want to make another one of these. When I made these little houses, I made another set of them. So I'm gonna make this new one in a wooden box. So I'll get that set up and we'll get started on that one. All right, I'm going to use this box for this planting. And here's my little houses. They're just 2x4 blocks with little metal roofs glued on. The wife did some painting on them. So I'm only going to have 2 trees in this planting because I know they like to get big. So I've got a couple of really cool rocks to use, and I'm going to try to have a lot of exposed roots on them. But first I want to trim up each one of these. They've got a lot of low branches, and I'm making a pile of these cuttings. when I get done, I'll go through them and try to stick the best ones, because they have been really good at going from cuttings. This one was a cutting probably about like this limb here. So I've been really impressed with how they root. They really don't even need rooting hormone. They seem to have it built right in. So there's that tree cleaned up. You can see they like to make a lot of low suckers, and in order to make a nice trunk on them, they all need to be cut off. So what I'm going to do is get this all set up with some soil and the rocks in place, and then we'll plant the trees on them. Okay, I've got my rocks in my house. My house is where I want them. I know these trees are going to need some support sitting up on these rocks, so I'm just going to do that with this wire and stick it under the rock. I only need about this much. Same thing on the other side. You can see I'm using used Romex. Here's the white and there's the black wire. So we'll get them out of the pot, and I want to wash these roots. I've got a pail of water here. You can see they go to town making roots. Eventually I'll be able to remove this wire, but for now it'll be important support for the tree on the rock. All right, I'm liking that. There's one tree. Let's see, this one's got crazy roots going round and round already. And lots of liverwort here. Definitely want to try to get rid of the liverwort. Need to go up through here with the wire. Okay, that one had some pretty unruly roots, but I think I've got them about like I want them. All right, time for some moss. Okay, now we can do some washing here of the rocks. Give them a good dose of Miracle-Gro, they'll be off to the races. It's obviously going to take time for these roots to situate themselves, and they'll need time to grow in. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is get some of these cuttings in a pot. So that's a perfect cutting there. Just needs these lower branches removed. I like to put about that much. And it seems really beneficial to slide these cuttings down the side of a plastic pot. They probably stay a little more moist and have a better chance of rooting. There's a good one. So I'll just go around the outside of this pot and slip them in there. And I don't bother with rooting hormone with these because I've had such good luck with them sprouting. They seem to have that hormone built into them. So there we go. Happy with this one for now. They do like to make a lot of roots. And speaking of roots, here's my cuttings. So it's usually taking about a month to 2 months for them to root. These two cuttings are over a year old, so it takes a year to get a established tree from a cutting. But they have been wonderful trees to take cuttings on. So there you go. Bonsai work on my giant sequoias. Hope everyone's having a great bonsai day. And I'll see you next time on Bonsai by the Sea.